All right, Jund Willow Geist. We've played some Willow Geist in Standard. It's our first time attempting it in Historic. Whenever you put whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Willow Geist. When it dies, you gain life equal to its power. And then we've got things like Deathbonnet Sprout, some Stitcher Suppliers, Grisly Salvage, Witherbloom Command. Lots of ways to put things into our bin. And then we've got other payoffs for things that go into our bin, like Silversmote Ghoul alongside Creeping Chill. We've got some Narcomoebas. We've got some Kroxas. We can exile this. So lots of great things to poke at there. Someone said Klothys. Klothys could be okay. It technically meets Willow Geist requirement. Maybe something to think about as we play some games if we see some cards we might want to cut. Yeah, you can find Standard Giants on the YouTube channel. It's definitely on the list of decks I want to get back to at some point because it felt pretty reasonable when we played it. I just haven't had time to yet. In fact, I'm gonna write that one down in the stream queue for later. So I'm trying to remember to get back to it. And Holy Heat is good removal as well. We're not really an interactive deck, Jacob Foxen. We're not like looking to. We're not like looking to interact with the board. We're looking to like kill people. Has Willow Geist on 1. Sneaper Keeper. Salvage on 2, honestly, is pretty good as well. So what's the nut draw here? We like Grisly Salvage into like Narcomoeba, Silversmote Ghoul, and a Creeping Chill. Just get them. Oh. Well, now am I supposed to wait? All right, Twitch chat. Bone Crusher Giant. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places. Do 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 do. All right, we get to Creeping Chill. Trigger this. We get to attack for 2. Silversmote Ghoul comes back into play. Triggers this. I always like when a deck cooperates and lets us do the thing in the first game, chat. It's good. It's good to see. I might actually be wrong to sack this to draw a card here. Hitting the black land makes it great, because now I get to do this. Come on, Creeping Chill. Just a Narcomoeba. I feel like this is probably the most suspect card in the deck. I'm not sure that this effect is powerful enough until we get Prized Amalgam in the format. Once we get Prized Amalgam, it'd probably be guess, but until such a point. What's going on, Blue Fire? I appreciate the 14 months. If you're talking about your sub, Steve, I definitely said thank you. Welcome back again, though. 2, 3. I don't know about 4 lands. It's a lot of lands. Wrath me, daddy. Narset!
I have practiced against meditate.
I've never been so happy to see a Narset. Narset concede. You love to see it, chat. Although the real secret to playing Narcomoeba in your deck, chat, is it makes sideboarding incredibly easy. You just cut those 4 and you move on with your day. Do I trim Faithless Looting, assuming they're gonna have Narsets? Unless it gets worse when they have Graveyard Hate. Alright, let's try this. You think is the current power set in Standard? I think a question like what you just asked should probably be answered with objective data, not my feelings. So if you want to know what the most powerful set in Standard is, I'd encourage you to go look at the Standard data from recent events and like calculate which sets have the most cards in them from them. It's Eldred again somehow. What's going on, Bennis? Thanks for the 15. Welcome back. Is our opponent taking turns, chat?
You want to go, tough guy?
Our post-board plan here of boarding in individually good threats. Looking okay here. What's going on, Vector Fiction? Good morning.
This'll be easy.
Upgrade our Chandra +1 to 3 damage, chat. High roller. Fuck! I just left Standard, chat. I wasn't supposed to have this happen. This was supposed to be my safe space, opponent. Stop! Please! You're killing me! Oh, chat.
Well, that was a disaster.
Wasn't supposed to have to deal with that here. Yeah, I'm supposed to play Chandra as Hey, look at distraction here. I know this is gonna seem random, but I promise you I thought about it because Alderun's Epiphany made me feel miserable, and the TV show is all about people feeling miserable. But my wife and I started watching Squid Game last night, and I don't know if I understand the hype around that particular show. It like, yeah, is it just the first two? We watched exactly 2 episodes, and I don't know that I want to continue watching it after the first 2. And for people that aren't familiar, the premise of the show is literally a bunch of people who are so far in debt under late-stage capitalism that they play a Hunger Games-like situation.
My prowess will keep an open mind.
Yeah, I don't get people that dislike dumb stuff. Chat, if I wanted to do homework, I would do homework. I don't want to sit there and read while I'm watching TV. If I wanted to read, I'd read a book. The dub is terribly acted. Wait, there's like, they reshot it for the dub? What do you mean it's terribly acted? Like, is there like an original with different actors? Oh, the voice acting. And I'm not even talking about the voice acting, chat. Y'all are ragging on it for a different thing. Like, I'm just saying that the premise of the, no, I like subtitles. What I'm talking about just says no, like, the quality of the voice acting is whatever. I'm talking about the premise of the show itself is incredibly depressing. Yeah, I always have subtitles on.
Just the trick.
I mean, is the story good? Like, the story from the first 2 episodes is just like, these people have terrible, miserable lives under capitalism. Like, it's just reality with extra murder. Like,
I'm known for my not so fast.
that's such a good draw, chat. That was the best draw in our deck. Get to kill a Teferi now, too.
Really should have seen that coming.
With thoughtfulness before action.
Hopefully we get news of a balance patch tomorrow, Bread. Yeah, Krubbish, Unite's current metagame is a little bit stale, and I didn't really feel like solo queuing. They announced we're getting Greedent in Unite on Wednesday or Tuesday's patch, so hopefully we get a balance patch with it too. I think I want to kill the Narset.
Mighty warrior. I concede.
I have not killed it. Yikes! It's a 7/7 land and an extra turn spell. Did they have like a stroke or something, T Cloudy? I think we definitely want the trophies in here as extra anti whatever. Am I boarding out Creeping Chills? I feel like I'm supposed to keep Creeping Chills in for the Silversmote Ghoul interaction. Deathbonnet Sprout's probably too slow and bad. This can at least like get in and get some triggers on things before Rest in Peace happens. Alright, it's fine. We're gonna Stitcher Supplier into Creeping Chill plus double Silversmote Ghoul and have 7 power on turn 1. I can feel it, chat. If I don't hit Stitcher Supplier, if I don't hit double Silversmote Ghoul Creeping Chill, it's because chat didn't believe enough. So I need your energy, chat. Please, please focus on me. Direct your power towards the screen. Wow, chat. Wow! Way to fail me now. Do you see what you did? Look at what you did. Chat, we haven't gotten memory lapsed at least yet. Glass half full. These Stitcher Suppliers are going the distance. They're going for speed. They're all alone in this time of need. They're racing and pacing and plotting the course. Okay, but like, what if I self-milled and killed a Stitcher Supplier here? Cast Lightning Helix, fam. According to a CNBC report, 10% of Americans control 89% of stocks. That's how late stage capitalism works. Yeah, they don't have white mana currently, which is good for us. I shocked in this land so we can exile the Seasoned Pyromancer here. It's dead, Jim. You've murdered him.
There are so many mysteries to uncover. Meditate and prepare.
So Narset is not very good at getting white mana, no. I think we're supposed to kill her.
This was overwhelming. Yup, you're going down.
This is the part where they play a 7th land and then just like take a bunch of extra turns.
Now you've done it.
Is our deck 10 spells and 50 lands? Asking the real questions. Wow, they're copying their turn spells in Historic too. Gross.
This was a waste of my time.
Gross. Hey, Creeping Chill is lethal. Do we YOLO it, chat? We have 3 Creeping Chills and 30 cards. All right, I'm gonna run the math here real quick. Hold, please. 33 successes, 6, 1. We're 50%. We're 50% to kill them with the Maelstrom Pulse mill. We did the math. Wow, actually never lucky. We are technically better than 50% there, right? Because technically it's... So, technically the calculation is this. We're 28%. And then we have a second computation that's this, right? So it's 30. So it's 0.7 times whatever, raised to the whatever. We're technically better than our coin flip there. Should have had Kroxa in play. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes lucky. I actually did just buy a year of HBO Max so I could watch some superhero shows. I watched through all of the Marvel universe and I started watching through the DC movies. Does the number mean it's broken? Asking the real questions. Hey, Vitor, thanks for the brand new Prime. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way. In the end, the special card we really needed was Maelstrom Pulse. Exactly. Easy mulligan here with no Geist and cards around a mulligan. Yeah, that sounds fine, right? Probably been the Faithless Looting. Yeah, I'm gonna be greedy. I'm gonna bottom the Woodland Cemetery and keep this in case we draw red. Look, would you look at that, chat? Swish. So I think we lead on Sprout here. So this way, next turn, we can go Faithless Looting, ditch the Ghoul before we Supplier. So that way, if this hits Creeping Chill, we can flip it back into play right away. Nailed it. Skill game. Chat, the metagame statistics that we went over in Meta Monday this morning told me that Jeskai control was down to just 5% of the ladder. Why am I playing it twice in a row? What part of the ladder are we talking about? We're talking about an extremely large sample size that Untapped collects, chat. It always makes me chuckle in a sad sort of way when people talk about crap like, oh, the metagame really changes from day to day. What they actually mean is their anecdotal sample changes from day to day, and they can't disconnect their anecdotal sample from a larger data set. Our Jeskai opponent is currently flopping around and doing nothing, so we've got that going for us. Deathbonnet here, looking real hungry. This card's much easier to flip in Historic than it is in Standard, that's for sure. Alright, we take those. And I think we just board very similarly to the Jeskai deck we just played against. Just like board in our threats that don't depend on the graveyard, and then our cards that can kill graveyard hit. Gurmag Anglers and Hooting Mandrills. Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what this format looks like when we get all the Delve cards. For people that were following MTG Twitter drama over the weekend, Brad Nelson's great. He's hilarious. Don't we all need more Twitter drama in our lives, chat? Alright, hopefully we're not about to Clarion, chat. Drama or comedy, depending on your perspective. That's true. Clarion, we will always remember. Unfortunately, I have to take the red source here, so I can't cast Willow Geist this turn.
I train every day. Keep an open mind.
Well, rip us, chat. Rip us. Might be able to power through a Chandra here, he says before getting spell pierced. Alright, Chandra didn't get spell pierced, step 1.
The best fire start. Oh, this is good.
One of the nice things about them rest in piecing us is it means that they're what's it called? They're on holy heat, so only ever deal 2.
I have just the trick for this.
Twitter is a giant human centipede. Man, that is a visual I really did not need. They have a commit here. So, I think with that commit played, we just play Pyromancer here. I guess if I escape this and they Teferi, I'm really sad. I'm gonna Willow into Seasoned Pyromancer. Oh, right, Narset. Oh, yeah, look at that. Make my Willow Geist a 2-2 opponent. We got him on the ropes now, chat. 2-2 Willow Geist coming for you.
Train harder.
So the problem with something like Ox is this, right? The games where you want to be grindy in this deck are probably only being grindy because they have a sideboard hate card. And at that point, I'd rather just have Chandra Torch of Defiance to grind in a way that doesn't lean on my graveyard. Right, well, the good news here is after they helix my thing so I can't kill their Teferi, I do get to resolve Chandra, so we've got that going for us. I'm gonna high roll here and draw an untap land. That'll also do in a pinch. Wrath of God. This game's relatively close considering they drew their hate card and they had Clarion on 3.
Those who cannot perceive beyond to hone your prowess.
We're dead enough at this point. Yeah, the command kills rest in peace, but we're just down too many resources at that point, and they have planeswalkers on the table. Innistrad or D&D to spend gems on? Innistrad has better lands in it, and it's also going to be standard legal for a longer time. So Innistrad will be standard legal for 2 years. D&D will only be standard legal until next fall. So I think Innistrad's definitely a better investment of resources for sure. Yeah, snarls are not good. I think Creeping Chill being a form of reach, as well as being able to bring back Silversmote Ghouls when we cast it, make them worth keeping in my deck. We're gonna cast this at sorcery speed here, because if we hit Creeping Chill, we get to bring back a Silversmote Ghoul. Yeah, the fact that this displays the wrong mana cost is real bad. I think we're just like taking it slow here and getting value out of our graveyard where we can. I just want to like get tokens from these Pyromancers before they rest in peace us. And the visual bug that people are talking about, by the way, here is that these cost 5 to activate, even though it says 3. When you mouse over it, it actually shows the right amount. While it's sitting there. When you go to... Wait, now it says 5? I moused over it, now it says 5? That's cute. Oh, we're back to 3, got it. Good example of Creeping Chill being somewhat reasonable in these post-board games. Earlier, you had one with 3 CMC and one with 5 right next to each other. That's great. Okay, well, they don't have Archmage's Charm up here, so I think we just jam her. Got through a couple of counter spells. This is a little bit windy out today, champ. Thought they banned memory lapse, chat. We have memory lapse at home. I hate when I go outside, there's an Aether. Yep, wear a coat. It was 43 degrees today when I walked the kids down to the bus stop. It's getting chilly out, chat. I think they're low enough that I just want to Pyromancer this turn. Rather than playing into another counterspell here. If we spike untapped green land here at some point, we'll get to Shifty Boy with haste. It's 43 degrees cold. I mean, it's close to freezing.
I know my responsibility. We need to move quickly.
I really wish we would have drawn a land there so we could have Chandra plus Assassin's Trophy. Obviously got to kill Teferi this turn. I'm going to lead on trying to kill Teferi because if this resolves, I can then Assassin's Trophy the Shark. I think is the plan, and then attack for 5. Hey, this gets them into the 1 Ceratops hit is lethal range, which is great. Waiting on that 3rd green here. Oh, that's so good, chat. Creeping Chill, Creeping Chill, Creeping Chill, yes! Yes! See, chat? We were just saving up our Creeping Chill variants. No, Lightning Helix. Oh, man. Only I'm supposed to have the Lightning Helixes, chat. It's not fair. They cheated. Boom. Alright, sweet. We killed the shark. We take those.
Fire, huh?
Our spell finally resolved and it was glorious.
Feel the burn.
Oh, this is only on our turn that we get the trigger, Sag. I thought we had Silversmotes. Why didn't they come back? I didn't realize this was only our turn. It's a lot less good. It's for the follow sharps. Alright. Let the dinos hit the board. Let the dinos hit the board. Let the dinos hit the board. There's definitely something wrong with me, chat. Definitely something wrong with me. And something's got to give. But it can't be countered, opponent. Why would you do this to me? Alright. In it to win it, fam. In it to win it. One hastiest of dinos, please. Kerthunk. Cycle Shark Typhoon, kill me. Alright. Glass half full. Didn't die to a Shark Typhoon.
Sorry I'm late. Let's skip to the good part.
Let's skip to the good part. Please concede. Alright, so I'm only attacking with this one because if I play this one, they can just make another token and chump their way out. Whereas if I attack with just this, I could give it trample and they die. He said before getting lightning helixed. Woohoo! Nice, rest in peace. Solid. Solid 2-0 against Jeskai, chat. Dex confirmed busted. Easy. Easy game. What's going on, Ween? Thanks for the 45 months. Welcome back. Chat, we are on the draw, and you know what that means. It means I just need you to believe. If you believe, we can hit this land drop. And if you choose not to believe, we're going to brick. Okay, shout out to everybody in Twitch chat that helped out with this this land drop here. Okay, we got a creeping chill and another land. Let's do it. So 22 months, Mean Bean. Welcome back. Okie dokie. Hockey dokie artichoke. No box. Back down to 19. Okay. Hippity hop, the fun don't stop, chat. All aboard the Graveyard Willow Geist Express. I'm just Deathbonneting into a tap land here. So 14 months, Dalek. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Got our little narcs in the air here, chat. Okay, so they lose 2 life per zombie that dies. Am I understanding this correctly? That's the quick maths here, right? They're losing 2 life per zombie that dies. Do I die on the backswing? I attack with everything. They have 3, 11, 15, 3, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'm going up to 22. They have to block though, right? They block just this. They lose 2. They take 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this kills them. Yeah, I think we attack with everything here. Are they dead? 'Cause they lose 6 here, right? And the creeping shell is lethal? Right? Draw your cards. Man, chat, this creeping shell is an 8 for 1. It's just some good value right there. Oh, the old 8 for 1 creeping shell. You love to see it. It's good clean living. Some Maelstrom Pulses and some Abrades because they interact with their board while also being anti-graveyard hate in a pinch. Just gonna trim around the edges here, I think. I wish we had more Titans like Kroxa. Yeah, I think a blue-green Titan would have been sweet. A lot of design space they could do with the blue and green mechanics on a Titan. Oh, I should have done this on my turn because of Silversmote plus Creeping Chill. We're gonna hit it this time. I feel bad. Definitely ditching this. I think Witherbloom Command. Yeah, I should have just abraded the Diagraph Colossus. Probably didn't give this the respect it deserves. We don't have nearly the same aggressive start we did last game. This is gonna run away with things. I should have killed the Colossus there. Yeah, I feel like the lack of more 2-color Titans in that set was a symptom of the fact that they just, like, only had one set and they didn't have a block. I think if we'd still been in blocks, we probably would have gotten more. More Colossi. Thanks for the follow patches. Good morning. I think we're mulliganing again here. Oh, no. Well, shit. These were not the lucky draws I was hoping for. Well, if, with a bunch of Silversmotes and a Creeping Chill, we might have been in this game here still, but... Seems unlikely at this point. And yeah, we needed these Stitchers and Salvages to actually draw us cards. Okay. I'd be good with getting more of the original Titans except for, Primeval Titan. I think that card's a design mistake. Prefer that one, just like, if we got to pretend that one didn't exist, it would be great. Pretty fine with all the others. We got to play a game there after we mulliganed to 4, which is all you can really ask for. Yeah. Hard to be too upset with that. Started on a very, very low number of cards. Prime time is Primeval Titan. It is the green 6 mana 6/6 Titan from that cycle. Primeval Titan is one of those cards that, like, probably should have been banned in Modern a long time ago, but it's like a card that has identity within the format, so it gets to hang out. I was actually kind of surprised they didn't clear it out when they cleared out, like, what's it called in Friends, like Faithless Looting and Mox Opal. Yeah, it's kind of like Brainstorming Legacy. So, Primeval Titan being too good in Standard is context dependent. For reference, the last time Primeval Titan was Standard legal, it was legal alongside Valakut, and then it was legal alongside Inkmoth Nexus and Kessig Wolf Run. So it saw a lot of play last time it was Standard legal. Going on Cryptic. Yeah, I wish we could get the cycle of the utility lands from original Innistrad into Historic. Kessig, Gavany, Desolate Loot House. Yep. This Kavu is main deck graveyard hate in addition to being a giant life-linking thing here. I don't know how we ever come back from here, right? Like, they're just ahead on board. They have infinite cards in hand. We don't have any way to generate value, really. Our ways to generate value are very graveyard-centric, and our graveyard's locked out because of the Kavu. Does Kavu see play in Modern? Some fringe play. People play it, but I don't think it's very good. It doesn't regularly post any results. I don't know. I hate stuff like that, Patrick, where people are like trying to track who is the first one to do a thing. Like, especially with a card like this, like, who was the first one to put the card that cares about basic land types into the deck with all 5 basic land types? I don't know. A bunch of people are probably smart enough to do that. It's not really something that's, like, incredibly innovative, right? It's like, this card very clearly fits into this thing. Hey, thanks for letting me know on the translation there, Jellyfish. I appreciate the tier 2 and thanks for the 2 years. Yeah, honestly, like, that's the real answer. The people that designed Modern Horizons 2 probably are the ones to give credit for putting it in the deck, right? The other modes in this are probably not very good here, and I'm bringing in these two, so that sounds fine. Streamers not the only ones that try things. That's true. It's true. The internet tells no lies, George Washington. That's a good quote. I'm going to write that one down. Gosh, chat, do you remember being a teenager and slaving over which incredibly deep quotes you were going to put on your Facebook or MySpace page? To let the other children know how philosophical you were deep down? Listen, chat, if I hadn't deleted it, my Facebook account would be old enough to vote next year. It's been a while. Gosh, I think my Twitter account is from 2007? 2007? I bury those memories deep in my subconscious. You quoted My Chemical Romance too often. Oh, well, MCR. It's on my shitty early 2000s punk pop playlist. Paramore, Fall Out Boy, MCR, all the bangers, chat. Damn. You're supposed to mill the creeping chill sprouts. I guess at least we're not drawing those lands now, glass half full. I wear eyeliner. I was not. I was never into makeup. What was it? When we used to travel to Magic tournaments, I would do a lot of the driving. And, one of my buddies in the car always described my playlist while I was driving as the I never got asked to prom playlist. Which, in reality, like, you know, I think that's a good descriptor of, like, the band Simple Plan in general. It wasn't an inaccurate descriptor, but it was, like, also rude. The 1-mana Geist also, Willow Geist also gains life for the ghoul, technically. And I don't know how we just, like, ever come back from here, right? It's like, have infinite cards, they have the board stalled up. Yeah, chat, I was homeschooled. We didn't do school dances. What's going on, Wargy? Good morning. Of the deck spin today, they've been reasonable. We played Abzan Venture to start the day. It was very good. I thoroughly enjoyed my time being homeschooled. I was always a self-starter from a young age, so being able to do things on a flexible schedule was good. It also put me into a decent position to be ahead in life, because, like, it set me up to start college at 16, which let me finish my graduate degree by 21 and get into the workforce a little bit earlier. Which I really leveraged my degree to get this job that I have today, chat. I wouldn't be here without my credentials. Alright, so I think we lead on Stitcher's Supplier here, because what we mill with this might inform what we want to loot with this. Yikes, at least we're not drawing those. The Creeping Chill brings that back later. Thanks for the 2/3 of a year, schooler. They issue degrees in herding cats. That's true. To be less facetious about the almost 6 years I spent in higher education, I do think a non-zero amount of my success here on Twitch is related to my education background. I think we loot here. Yeah, another Silversmote Ghoul here is actually pretty good. Actually, let's just bin the Kroxa so we can flash that back here. So we'll go probably Creeping Shell, get back the ghouls next turn into Escape Kroxa the turn after. This chat. I actually have this mono red deck loaded up in my deck editor. We might play this later today. Seems very reasonable. A Tarka's Command. I don't have a build with a Tarka's Command in my deck editor. Think I'm just doing this. Our face is the place, Chip. Block here, take 5, go to 1. So that's actually the best part about teaching on Twitch, Patrick Mendy, is when you teach in a school, you have to coddle people that really could use a little bit of tough love, otherwise you get fired. Whereas on Twitch, you could just tell people that are idiots to fuck off, and it's perfectly okay. So, if I Creeping Chill, I go up to 4, and then I get things back tapped, and then I'm technically not dead on board. I think I leave this back as a blocker. Taking the card out of their hand isn't that valuable because they're gonna redraw with Beaumont anyways. Yikes. Alright, so their linear game plan seems a lot better than ours. I think we need to become interactive here. It is a long ass time, Bob. Thanks for the 50 months. Thanks for the tier 3. Welcome back. They have graveyard stuff? Not really. Guess they have Ox. Aren't these lanterns? We don't want these lanterns. Pyromancer making blockers and gassing us back up also seems okay. Maybe I don't want trophies to ramp them. Dominion's fine. I think Dominion's just largely outclassed by other more modern deck building games. It's kind of like the OG of the genre, and it like other things built on top of it, innovative more. All right, we got some spot removal here. We take this hit since I've got ways to kill this in my hand. Honestly, I think we just like pop this off. We just let this chill for now. I don't think it's worth shocking to kill it. Okay, no tokens on the Seasoned Pyromancer is great for us. Well, these undo static discharge at least. Nothing remotely useful in our graveyard though, so Willow Geist just looking like a 1/1 for 1 that's kind of awkward here. We just do this because it takes all of our mana for the turn. And we'll plan to trade this here. Really need like a Grisly Salvage. Some way to like generate some card advantage here. Like salvage into like an Narcomoeba or two. Could be good. And doesn't do it, unfortunately. I think that locks us out. Which part is I can't even shock myself with this. Oh, you know what's a good card in here? Calls the Dead's probably gasoline in this deck, huh? It mills us, and then it also triggers Willow Geist. It does it twice. Like trim around the edges for this one. I don't know that I even love Faithless Looting this deck, if I'm being honest. It definitely feels worse than just milling a lot of the time. Hey, Agent Blue, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. Hope your Monday's going all right. The video I think it is. I'm actually surprised how little views that video has. It has a lot less views than a lot of my gameplay content, and that's a question like people have constantly. That this video here goes through the process that I think you should do when it comes to building sideboards with decks. I only want to play one more match with this deck, and I'm just gonna concede this and find one where there's not a game 1 piece of graveyard hate. We care about our rank. The YouTube algorithm doesn't like my existing channel in general, which is one of the reasons why I've put up the new daily deck digest and the Pokemon Unite highlight channel. There were a bunch of other Magic content creators that were sharing like what percentage of their viewers on YouTube are new viewers and which ones are returning viewers. And almost everyone that shared their longer term channels, like 10% of their viewers on their videos about, were new viewers that YouTube had brought in through recommendations. And the average video on my main YouTube channel that I've had for 6 years is like 2 to 3% YouTube recommended new viewers. Hey, well. And that honestly doesn't surprise me. The new channels are more YouTube optimal by a lot. It's not even about clickbait. Shorter edited content does better on YouTube. There's clickbait to a degree, but the type of content that I post on my main channel, generally speaking, does a number of things that are not YouTube optimal. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, for the record, I agree with you. I don't think mainboarding Klothys is bad in this format. I just don't want to play against it with this deck. This deck mulligans like Dredge. I don't know that I agree with that. I actually feel like one of my complaints about this deck is we have like 8 cards we don't really want to draw, and I don't know that we feels like we recover from our mulligans well. I'll repeat this at the end during the wrap-up, but in general, this deck kind of feels like it's just a bad version of the Storm Herald deck. The payoff this deck is getting from the self-mill is much lower than the Storm Herald payoff, and it's playing a lot of similarly individually weak cards for a much worse total payoff. I mean, I don't think... Have you played much Dredge? Like, I've played an okay amount of Dredge, and like my buddy Matt played a ton of Dredge And he always loved mulliganing with that deck because Dredge is the type of deck that just, like, needs 3 cards to work. So, like, it pops off from very little. Whereas, like, every time we've mulliganed with this deck, we felt very low on resources and stretched thin. Alright, shit. We're gonna try and just hit a Creeping Chill and kill them here because they have Anger flipped up. Yikes. Yeah, I agree, Injured. Looting's basically felt good for exclusively getting rid of Narcomoebas. Generally speaking, there aren't competitive decks that have ever benefited from being on the draw. There's people that'll give you ass-backwards logic and tell you about, like, tier 7 decks that want to be on the draw, but they're not very good. Alright, so we're dead to this being an epiphany, right? I'm gonna be done with this deck. It's just not fast enough to be competitive in these matchups. It's just not disruptive. Yeah. And to give a concise wrap on this deck's just, it's not very good. Our deck is just a worse version of what the Storm Herald deck is doing. Our deck's super susceptible to graveyard hate, our cards are individually weak, and the payoff that we're getting to play through all of those things is not very high. We played against the Red Madness deck, and it showed us that it just gets to run us down even when not interacting with us, and if our opponents interact with us even a little bit, we just really don't have a chance.